What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Line of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of the DeAgostini Millennium Falcon from Fanhome. And oh, buddy, have I been looking forward to doing this episode for a long time now. As we pass over the 50% mark of this model, we need to really get down and get to the paint and the weathering and all of the rest of the stuff so that we can seal this up, flip it over, and start putting stuff inside, because we're going to start building the top and assembling the internal parts of this model. So, ooh, man, that was a lot to say because I am really excited and I'm like almost giddy that we get to do this. Now, if you guys aren't following along with the rest of Hobby Time modelers, we on Wednesdays are building the perfect grade Millennium Falcon, because I build too many Millennium Falcons. I don't know what to tell you guys. But we're building the perfect grade Millennium Falcon, and I'm basically at the same point with that model, only the entire model is complete. It's taken us 6 months, but the model is complete. The assembly is complete, minus like the 6 or 7 parts that I lost because, fat fingers and flinging off because this is my show. Just, it is what it is. But that being said, I'm doing the same thing on that model as we're about to do here, and it's been great practice and it's been great experience getting ready for this, because there is no masking kit for this model. I'm going to have to use tape and my way of doing things, and I'm going to share with you guys, if you guys haven't seen my little mod that I like to do using press and seal. So I use this on my Enterprise C videos way back in the day when I was painting that model. And you should definitely check that out if you're interested. But I'll be showing you how I use press and seal to help block off and keep our paint from overspraying everywhere. I think it's actually pretty ingenious way of doing it. So let's go ahead and start by saying this episode is going to be a lot of me talking for a minute, and then you're going to see a lot of quick masking, and then talking, and then painting, and then ASMR pulling tape. Wash, rinse, repeat. I got a lot of painting to do, so what we're going to start with and how we're going to approach this is I'm going to do this in 3 layers. The one big difference that I'm noticing with this model versus the perfect grade Millennium Falcon is there's not this every other panel sort of thing where there's a lighter gray, and I've noticed that as I've looked through the files. This model is a completely different model, and they chose to not do that, and so I am also choosing to not do that as well. We're just going to be focusing on the 3 colors, which is going to be the medium gray, the neutral gray, which is our light gray, and then we're going to go ahead and use a red concoction that I just created using some whole red and some flat red together to kind of give us a nice kind of warm red color that we're going to be putting down for our red spots. And we'll see. I'm going to do a little test spray, see how it turned out, and if I need to modulate the color a little bit, I will. But that's going to be the plan. So where we're going to start today is we're going to go ahead and start by doing our red panels. And I've gone through and I've marked off each one of these panels that needs to be done with a small point pencil. And I basically just put a little X on each one of these panels and to be painted. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and get all of these masked off. And then when I come back, we'll go ahead and talk about the masking process. And then let's go ahead and lay down some paint. So let's go ahead and get to masking, shall we? right, so that was about, oh, I would say 30 minutes worth of masking. And, you want to take your time. This is not a cheap model, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and say this, okay? You are spending a couple of $1,000s on this model. Do not rush this process. Do not skip over any steps. Make sure you're taking your time to get it right. Don't waste your money, okay? Just I've seen some people just doing things to the bottom of this model, and it's for you. Obviously, I don't let me trash on your parade, so to say. But that being said, make sure you take your time and get your masking right. Make sure you're confident before you move on, because you can't go, well, you can, but how many times do you think you can spray over this before you start losing some of that detail? So, overall, this masking process turned out really good. Some of the things that I did wind up doing is going through and using some curved line tape in a couple of places. I haven't used curved line tape in a long time. It's actually nice to be able to use that stuff again. And then I obviously went through and just used little pieces of tape. I want to get all of the panel lines. I know that they didn't do the most amazing job of that. And I kind of left a couple of them like right over here where you can kind of see into the panels. Like I'm trying to be conscious of that, but I'm also looking to weather this model and take care of a lot of that chipping and stuff on my own. So I'm trying to be as precise as I possibly can. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is take our color here, and it's basically just what I did is I took a little bit of our flat red, and here it is. Yeah, I just went into the pot because I'm out of the flat red. So I went ahead and just took some flat red and some of our whole red, and then added just a little touch of some of the gloss red in there as well to just kind of brighten it up a little bit. And I just kind of wanted to create a nice kind of like warm red tone. It's not a bright red, it's a brown red, and I really wanted to kind of pick that up. And I tried to replicate what I did for the color on Boba Fett ship. So probably a little bit more on the red side, but hey, it's what it is. So let's go ahead and get to painting. And but first, to do that, what we need to do is do a little bit of further masking. So I'm going to show you real quick what I do with my press and seal. So what I like to do is get a nice long strip, and we're going to be doing this I'm going to be painting this in several little spots. Okay, I'm not going to be doing like I did with the perfect grade or what have you, where I just covered this entire thing, sprayed it, and called it good. We're going to be taking our time and painting this correctly. So what we're going to do, for instance, is I'm going to catch these three. Well, I could probably catch all of these actually with one panel, possibly. Let's catch these three. Okay, so we're going to do this one, and this one. I'm going to do this for the first one, and then I will just come back and show you what it looks like at the very end after we've gotten all the painting done, because, once again, this episode I guarantee you that this episode will go a little long, as we are doing a lot of painting today. So I like to take my press and seal, and whatever voodoo magic that it has, I kind of understand the technology behind it, but whatever voodoo magic it is, you just press it down to the model and seal it down. I like to go through and press it all the way down, because if any paint does happen to get through, you're sealing it off and there's nowhere for that paint to go, so it's just going to hit the back of a wall. So as we go through, I like to go around the tape where we've taped off, try to leave the part where we're leaving to be masked and actually painted. Leave that, don't press down on that. I kind of made that mistake over here because I was talking, but you want to press down along the tape and only along the tape, and then immediately surrounding the area where you're going to paint, leaving the area where you want painted what's the best way of putting it? Like unstuck is going to be the best way of going. And then, and I cannot stress this enough, using just the weight of the knife. You are not pressing down. You're not doing anything of the sort. You're just using the weight of the knife, and you want to go as far in, like basically middle. You want to go, and basically you want to come into the middle and trace around the outside. And once again, I'm only using the weight of the knife. I'm not pressing down at all, because you can cut into the model. And then just going to take the knife, come into the middle, and pull off that little tab. Now, one of the things you can do if you're really super crazy about it, and I've done this before and I did it on the Perfect Grade Falcon. I am not going to do that here because I don't want to just blast through tape because I'm already going to be using a lot of tape in today's episode. And if we have to color correct later, that is totally fine. I went ahead and decanted whatever was left of the AS20, and we're going to say it's setting it aside specifically for this model. Okay, so we're going to come through here, and just once again, using nothing but the weight of the knife, just going to trace through the middle, right along here. Up and over, and over. There we are. And then we're just going to slide underneath our spot, peel up our crescent seal. And then after you remove that little piece, then just go through once again and seal it up. The reason we're going to be doing this in small little sections is once you press this down, for whatever reason, like this is designed to sit over top of plastic and Tupperware and stuff like that. So you only want to do this in small sections because if you press it along here along the tape, you don't need to worry about doing any extra masking along the outside. Okay, now let's go ahead and grab our final piece here. And after we get this one done, I will take care of the rest of the painting. We'll just kind of do this painting section together here for this first one. I'll finish the rest of the painting on the red after we've reviewed what we've done, and then we will move on. And then we'll come back and review what we've done, and then we'll move on to the next phase. Okay, so I may have just made no sense there. Thinking ahead and trying to talk and all of those things. Oof. All right. So we're just sealing up along the outside there. I realized that I didn't paint inside of the landing gear area. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to display this model, so I want to leave options open, so we're going to paint the inside of that as well. Okay, now let's go ahead and grab our airbrush. We're good to go. And let's get our paint mixed up just a little bit. And the moment of truth, let's go ahead and get our color in. I am very satisfied with that color, yes. Very satisfied. Okay. I am, however, going to test it real quick on a white towel just to see how this goes. Yep, I like that color. Let's get my pressure right. There we go. And that's what that red looks like. I really like that. It's a nice tone. So let's go ahead and start here. And we're going to be spraying away from the tape. I'm just going to get a mist coat. Very light. Let that dry on there for a second. Let's go ahead and get on to the next spot. And the mist coat's just so we have something for the paint to stick onto the next time we come through. There we go. And then our next spot. All right. Mist coat is on. Let's go ahead and get our first coat on. A little bit heavier. And don't be afraid here to get some different layers of color because once again, we want to be weathering this, and so you can kind of get some effect of that now. Okay, we're going to need to come around from the other side. Cut some of those recesses. we are. Go. All right, let's get our next coat on. Several small coats, thin coats. Want to build color as you go along, and I am very happy with the tone of that. That is a very nice red, and I know it's kind of blowing out on the camera, but let me tell you, it's a really nice tone. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It'll dry a little lighter, but I'm very happy with that. Let's get our third and final coat. I'm hitting it with some paint now. And there we are. All right, I'm going to let that dry for just a moment, and then we'll go ahead and peel up our peel and seal. Press and seal. I will be right back. All right, this had a chance to kind of cure for a second, so now all we have to do, simply pop this up, and there's zero overspray over anything. And then what you wind up with is one of these weird things. And then what we do is we can recycle it up to a point. So like what we're going to do here is try to find a spot where I can use it. Just like so. Perfect. So you're not going to be able to get a whole lot of miles out of this, but what you're able to do, and just be careful. You don't want to try, like, I'm being a little reckless here. Thankfully, the paint is dry. We're good. I'm like, thankfully, the paint's dry. But you're able to kind of move it over to a new spot and get it sealed up. And so, and I'm going to go ahead and do this again for all of these different spots, and I will come back and we will go ahead and peel off our tape and reveal the first layer of colors. I will be right back. All right, so here we are. We got all of our paint down. That actually went pretty quick. Once you get this process down and you're quick at getting the press and seal down, really it doesn't take much because you're not having to do a ton of extra masking as it just kind of naturally takes care of this. So I have to say that the paint went down really well. I'm very pleased with the whole effect that we got. So let's go ahead and do some paling real fast. Oh, buddy. Yes. Oh, that turned out good. Yeah. All right. Pleased with that. Yeah. Okay. Very pleased with that. There's a little bit of a blast off right here, and that's totally fine because there was also that on the model, and I'm going to go ahead and let some of that stand, unless it's like really obvious and shouldn't be there. So let's go and grab this one. Oh, yeah. That turned out good. Oh, buddy. I am happy with that. Once again, a little bit of overspray on the edge, totally fine with it. I expect to have some of it and want to have some of it, as I said in the beginning. All right. Oh, man. I am super pleased. Ugh. So, there's a little bit of an overspray spot right there. And it's kind of in a cool spot. So, you know what's going to happen? I don't know. We'll figure that part out later. Oh, yeah. That was satisfying and came out perfectly. No overspray whatsoever there. Go ahead and grab this one here. We had to kind of freeform and create this on our own. Let's see how this turned out. I'm already pleased, I can tell. Very pleased with how that one turned out. Excellent. Oh yeah, buddy. That looks good. So I'm grabbing my tape. I'm trying not to touch the surface of the model. Thankfully with this, there is the panel lines you can kind of grab the tape through with. Oh yeah. Very nice. This is another one we kind of freeformed. Oh man. Hell yeah. Dude, this is awesome. Let's go ahead and switch over to this camera real quick. Get some of this front action here. Oh yeah. Curve line tape worked beautifully there. Perfect. Oh yeah. And it's even a little weird too, as it is on the model, in the shooting model. Excellent. All right. Let's go ahead and grab this one. Ow. Stab myself with the tweezers. Oh yeah. Buddy, I am super pleased. The work on the perfect grade is making wonders of this job here right now. Oh man. Over the thrust vector plate right there, that turned out really good. I got the last piece over here. All right. I gotta say, I was a little nervous about this because of the scale of this model, but I gotta say that all of that turned out perfectly. I am super pleased with how that looks. So, what's next? We're going to go ahead and take care of masking off all of our grays, and then we'll go ahead and show a little bit of the painting on that only after I get all the masking done, because it can get a little tedious. That took probably about an hour, hour and a half or so to take care of just the reds. And so we're going to mask off all of the grays, and then we'll go ahead and go through and paint and do a little bit of show and tell. Oh, buddy, come back for some more ASMR. We'll be back. All right, so here we are, and after, God, this has taken me close to 3 hours to mask and paint and do all the things, but I gotta say, it was all worth it. Everything seems like in my end, everything turned out great. So let's go ahead and do some ASMR and pull off some tape. So let's go ahead and start here at the far end, and we'll just kind of assess as we go along, see how everything turned out. Oh yeah, buddy. Beautiful. Oh man. Let's pull that into screen real quick. Yep, that turned out good. Grab our next piece here. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh man, that's turning out great. Tell you what, painting on a large model is very nice. Can't wait to build a 420 scale Defiant. That's gonna be super cool. Oh, that turned out great. Fantastic. All right, we'll leave these ones for last because they're the biggest pieces. Let's go ahead and pull this big piece off here. Very nice. Oh, that turned out great. Oh, it's exciting, you guys. Perfect grade has really set me up for success on this model. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, that was the most intricate part of the tape job there, and it turned out perfectly. Oh, guys, this is awesome. This piece is a little bit difficult to pull off, so I'm just going to go ahead and... Oh, yeah, it's because I got the curved line tape underneath there. I was like, wait, why is it so difficult? Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy. Oh, man. Dude, yes. Sometimes don't need to be so careful. Very little overspray has been happening on this. This is great. Probably the red's easier to pick up on the overspray too, though, but learned a couple things on the first part of that. Oh, yeah. Piece of tape right there. Could have missed that one. Yeah, buddy. He's slightly off frame here. Sorry about that. Very nice. Oh, man, that turned out great. Use my hands for this one. This is also this is also a bit of a tricky tape job here. Kind of made a small state of Oklahoma shaped piece right there. Just the opposite side. Let's come up to the front here. Let's go ahead and switch over to this camera. You know, the two pieces are darker gray up here. There we go. Oh, yeah. A lot of tape on this one for whatever reason. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's curved line tape. I always forget. Oh, yeah. That turned out good. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. All right, and for the last little bit of tape to pull off, and there's a lot of tape on here actually too. So let's go ahead and get this off. Oh yeah. Oh buddy. Oh man, you guys, would you look at that? I don't even know if I can get it all in frame right now. So let's go ahead and get over to the other camera here and see what we can do. All right, so there we are. Oh man, all of this turned out so fantastic. I'm very pleased with the quality of the paint that we got on here. And my friends, oh, for whatever reason, I've noticed that these screws, the M6s or whatever, like to push through a little bit, so the model likes to push up. There we are. And there we are. So all of our base colors are taken care of, and I gotta say that this turned out really, really, really good. I am very pleased with this progress, and I gotta say that I was a little worried about masking off this model, but I have figured out how to do it and do a pretty good job at it, I do have to say. So, there we are. In the next episode, we're going to go ahead and get on to some sort of weathering. More than likely, we're going to be getting onto some sponge chipping. And so we'll come on to that and some other weathering as we move on to the next phase of painting this model. So, that's what I got for you today, and I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things y'all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me watching me paint a model, and I think that's pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. Like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where we happen to be. And just remember, my friends, that this is the way.